Hi, everyone. Today I'm very privileged to be here, and I'm going to be talking about how technology is being used in the healthcare and life sciences to improve patient outcome or clinical outcome in the healthcare and life sciences. Very quickly, my introduction. So my name is Arshad Farhad, and I am the CTO for Healthcare and Life Sciences at Dell. Um, and before joining Dell, I have spent nearly 14 years in the UK healthcare hospitals called NHS, National Health Services, at various leadership roles. So let's have a quick look about what are the clinical and business challenges that our healthcare organizations, such as hospital, clinics, and other providers are facing these days. So as you know that a few years ago, not so long ago, we came across the pandemic, and since the pandemic, few things have changed. Uh, for example, without going into any order, the patient expectations have changed massively. Let me give you an example. For example, in 5 years ago, I never expected that I may be doing a remote consultation with my doctor, but this has become quite normal these days. So, and especially some people are expecting, some patients are expecting that for some very basic needs, they may not need to be traveled to the hospital or clinic. So this is where the virtual care area comes in. And again, we have seen quite a huge adoption in the virtual or remote care. Also, there have been a huge backlog still as a result of the coronavirus and the pandemic. And because of that, hospitals are now introducing a number of automations or number of improvement in order to expedite, in order to make the process quicker for the patients and also for the doctors as well. We have seen the use of different technologies such as AI, machine learning to make certain to help clinicians make their decision maybe more quickly or accurately. By doing also, we have also seen that there's a huge security challenge that all the healthcare organizations are facing. And it is as we move around, as we move into more of virtual care or remote care, or introduce AI or introduce more of automation, then the security risk is going to, the horizon of the security risk is going to increase further. It's a very interesting stats that I've recently come across that healthcare organizations have seen the highest number of data growth. And I think it possibly resonate what we saw in the previous slide. Again, very interesting. The most AI-based tools are also being adopted in healthcare. It's not finance, it's not telecommunication, is the healthcare that we have seen the utilization or adoption of health AI-based tool. And finally, this is something, again, it was sort of a very eye-opener for me because while doing so, while we said that healthcare organizations are using more and more technology, they're using more AI-based tool, but at the same time, and maybe it is as a result of that, that healthcare organizations have seen the highest number of cyber attacks. I think these three things correlate and also confirm what we saw in the previous slide, which are basically the clinical challenges and clinical priorities as a result of that, that these things are also in line with what we have said previously. So how technology and what area of technology do we see? This is more of a global perspective, but in a whole, we have seen that healthcare organizations are more and more looking into edge. Again, this is as a result of increasing your productivity. Again, going back to increasing your the way you treat your patient. So the concept here is keeping the patient outside the hospital, because there are only so many patients you can bring or treat into the hospital. So this is a new concept that we have seen, or we are seeing, that treating the patient outside the hospital, or any location which is outside the hospital, treat as edge. And it could be patient home, or it could be satellite, a small surgery. But having done so, it means that now you have to rely on technology. You have to rely more on technology. Telehealth related to that. It is extending your hospital care to patient home, right? And there are a number of examples we have seen into the telehealth. Telehealth is not a new concept, but again, in the last few years, as a result of patient expectation that I've said previously, we have seen a huge adoption in that. Deep tech and AI, we've just discovered that healthcare organizations have adopted most number of AI, and I think so. This also relates to that. And different organizations are at a different level of their journey. AI is a journey, right? So we have seen a number of organizations who are at a very early stages, and we have also seen a number of healthcare providers who are at quite advanced stage of adopting AI. Data management, again, going back to the previous slide, we have seen the largest data growth. So that correlates to that. So once you have data which is coming from different sources, different applications, then the management of the data becomes healthcare. Management of the data becomes very challenging, but at the same time, it gets very important as well. Because at the end of the day, if we are saying, or if we are committing to the clinical people that we are going to provide you a fully digital experience to treat the patient, it means we have to provide, as a IT or a technology person, that we have to provide the experience that a clinician would happily treat the patient. 5G, again, this may vary from region to region. It depends on, obviously, the rollout of 5G wider. But again, it's a huge adoption that we have seen. And number of use cases as a result of that has significantly improved and increased. So it relies on your edge, it relies on your telehealth, and it is enabling how a patient could be seen, treated, or their clinical journey could be started before they come into the hospital. And finally, security. I think we've said enough about this, that as a result of the technology advancement, security is a paramount. If one question I asked to the director of IT or CIO of the healthcare, that what keeps you awake at night, and they would say probably, and I get to hear the answer probably most of the time, is the security. How we as a Dell Healthcare are addressing the needs and requirements of modern healthcare. So we have divided our solutions or our offering into these main 5 areas. First of all, multi-cloud ecosystem, which is more of modernizing the infrastructure, so how you can deliver your clinical applications suited for the better clinical outcome. Connected workforce, this is where all the application that your end users, whether clinicians, whether non-clinical staff, are going to access, how you make that experience friendlier for them, because one of the main area that IT have failed in the past is the user experience. Whatever you put into your data center, that is not visible to a doctor or a surgeon. So it is vital that the user experience is easy and is as how they would like to be while they were doing in the past. Healthcare data management. This is, again, all the AI, machine learning, data intelligence, healthcare data lake, data at the edge. How are we going to manage that? How are we going to efficiently store them in a way that can be presented to the clinicians, but also to the patients as well? And personalized health. This is more of the emerging areas. For some countries, for some region, it could be emerging, but for some areas, it could be that they are already using it. So this is where we talk about the solutions such as clinical genomics, digital pathology, how the data that you've seen in the previous pillar is going to be processed so that can be used for research purposes, that could be used for the clinical trials, and you're dealing with a huge amount of data. So this is where you need high performance computing. So, and how are you going to access it? It could be as a service that you would like to just or just consume as how you like to use things in the cloud. And finally, security. So all these areas, whether we're talking about the multi-cloud, and when we talk about the multi-cloud, it's not just cloud, it is about a healthcare specific cloud. So the cloud is built based upon your clinical application, and also it is built as per your data requirement, right? So all these areas, we are creating a lot of data. So in order to secure, in order to make sure that they are well looked after, we have a secure care, which look after, which address the security of the data where it is being generated at the edge or in your own data center, and also in the cloud as well. In the next few slides, so I just want to go through some of a very recent customer stories or transformation solutions that we have enabled our customers to be better to achieve their better clinical outcome. Right. So digital twin, again, digital twin concept in manufacturing and retail is quite mature, but in healthcare, we are still seeing that people are in the early stages. So this is something we have recently worked with one of the healthcare organization, and we have built a digital twin in order to treat lung cancer. And it is slightly more on the molecular side rather than the full organ twinning of full organ. So this basically help looking at the effect of drugs which has been given to a patient who is suffering from lung cancer, that what are the efficacy, what are the result of that drug is going to happen or is going to take place to that patient. So again, this is a great example of how technology is improving better clinical outcome. This is sort of a very high level how the AI and machine learning architecture look like for the previous solution. I'm not going to go into the detail of that, but if this is if you're interested in knowing more about it, please reach out to the Dell team, and we are more than happy to come and discuss it in much detail. We have recently built a digital trusted research environment, and the purpose of that is this is one of the projects in the UK, and the purpose is that this is a self-funded environment. So the data which is being used, which is being generated as a result of digital pathology, eventually it is being used to generate revenue for the system to run itself. So it's basically a data monetization concept. Again, it uses a full multi-cloud capability. So a clinician, so you can see different hospital organization on your left-hand side, they are accessing it, they're processing it, applying AI. And at the same time, you have researchers who are accessing the data for their research purposes, for their clinical trials. And obviously, it is in a very controlled environment. They anonymize the data before it is being shared with the researchers, and making sure that the integrity and the security of the data is intact. So again, it's a great example of how organizations are not using technology for the patient, for the better clinical outcome, but also in order to generate revenue from it as well. Cloud, again, cloud is something I think I get to hear 50 times a day from different people, and every organization may have a slightly different definition of their own. So this is something we have built recently for one of the ministries in the European region. And what we have done, we have built some sort of a purpose-built a cloud for a healthcare. So again, we have a lot of offerings from your hyperscalers like public cloud providers. At the same time, you have cloud offering from other providers, which may be of slightly different type. But this is what we believe, that we have built a blueprint for a cloud which is more suited for the clinical application, the need for the healthcare organization. As you can see in the design principle, the basic design principles are four mainly. Data locality, because every healthcare organization, we deal with a very critical set of data. So we'll have to make sure that the speed and compliance is intact while we're doing it. People like cloud, or organization like cloud, because of it could be because of the flexibility of it. So we want to provide the same flexibility in that as well. Cost model, again, different cost model can be used here. And again, Dell, because we have a financial organization as well. So we can tailor any cost model which is suitable for your organization. And multi-cloud. And obviously, we believe in a multi-cloud. So it is not about your private cloud or hybrid cloud. The world is multi-cloud. I think everyone has realized it. So it is like a fundamental aspect of this cloud as well. And the beauty of that is it is built for healthcare organization. It is built for healthcare application, and it is and it has been delivered as a service as how you would like to consume any other application which is sitting on a public cloud or something. It could be implemented on your own data centers. It can be implemented in the hybrid. Maybe you want to keep one location in your own hospital, maybe second as a hybrid cloud, or you want to consume as a full cloud experience. So you don't want to manage and maintain any of the infrastructure component within your hospital. So that is like a free cloud. And we can provide all these capability, all these type of arrangement which is suitable for your need. This is just a quick example of how this multi-cloud healthcare cloud looks like. As I said earlier, if you have any questions or you want to deep dive into more, then please reach out to the team, Dell Healthcare team, and they are more than happy to go through in detail. As you can see in this slide, that this is a true multi-cloud. Like you have your private cloud, which is on your left-hand side, and your right-hand side, this is a Dell Technology Life Sciences Cloud, and it has access to all the public cloud as well. Healthcare data security, as you mentioned, that it is one of the areas that each and every organization is struggling, and each and every organization has the priority to address it. And we follow a NIST framework, which is based on protect, identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. And each phases, we have solutions to address the requirement. So it's not just about backup. It's not just about the cyber. It's about a journey, like how you make a plan for the protection of your own home. How are you going to apply locks on doors and windows? And then how are you going to continuously monitor it? And finally, if something happens, then how are you going to recover it? So it's like a layered security model or approach. And at each layer, there are certain solutions or there are certain offering that you need. And Dell is at the forefront of providing all these solutions to you. AI, again, the concept of AI is not new. These are some of the basic areas or the areas that we have seen majority of the healthcare organization are looking into applying AI. Genomics, again, this is the fundamental block of your proactive healthcare. NLP, we have a huge amount of data which is based on papers. So natural language processing plays a very vital, important role when you talk about connected hospital or digital hospital. Medical imaging, I think this is one of the areas that we have seen the huge amount of AI application. We have seen organizations have used AI for the detection of COVID-related symptoms. And obviously, it has now been increased for pneumonia and for a number of other use cases as well. Instruments like CT scan, MRI scan, to do the proactive monitoring and stuff, AI being used over there. Conversational AI, we have seen a huge adoption in the recent generative AI, where a digital assistant has been used for triaging upcoming patient in order to reduce the burden in the hospital. And finally, drug discovery. I think this is something I don't need to explain it, because every one of you have seen how AI and machine learning have played a role in the discovery of COVID vaccine. Normal drug discovery is 10 to 12-year cycle, and obviously we have seen the vaccine was developed within a year. Some very, very common use cases that we come across, and these are just few. And again, the list is long. Like as I mentioned earlier in my introduction, uh, um, until 8 years ago, I was one of you. I was working in the hospital, and we had been talking about how we can predict a risk of sepsis or deterioration of a patient in a hospital after maybe operation or something. And these are some of the clinical. At the same time, you have some non-clinical use case, such as you would like to see the wait time of your emergency department. You would like to predict the length of stay of a patient in the hospital. It will help you doing capacity management. So these are some of the very basic use cases, and these are like those use cases which you can buy off the shelf. If you have some sort of data is in order which can be plugged into these model, then possibly you don't have to develop the model right from the scratch, and you can start using in the matter of weeks, not months. Edge, again, a huge adoption. There are a lot of examples. Again, this is one of the examples where these motherships, they basically they are hospital on an ocean. So where there's a need of it, they can obviously deliver a fully digital hospital. But at the same time, probably you've seen that more and more ambulance services have started to start the treatment of patients right from the ambulance rather than waiting for them to come to the hospital. So these are just a few examples. I hope it will give you some idea about what sort of solution and technology we have been using in the healthcare and life sciences arena, and it will give you some insight of what is out of the possible and what can you do with the AI, what can you do with the other aspects of things such as genomics, digital pathology, what are the challenges we are facing. So with that, I'll stop here. And I would really encourage you that if you have any questions or any observations that you may wish to explore further, please reach out to the Dell team, Dell healthcare team, and they'll be very happy to come and talk to you about it. Thank you very much and have a great day.